Greetings, my fellow Americans on X, Twitter. I wanted to take this opportunity to go live and talk about what's been going on. A lot has happened over this past week and actually over the past few days. And this was supposed to be originally a live feed or live video to talk about the passing of Sheila Jackson Lee, but I think that's been overshadowed by what has occurred as of this morning, the announcement made by the President of the United States. And I think that in hearing the news and reading, it bears reiterating what I have pointed out previously in the last live feed, and what I have been speaking about over time and time again. In the last live stream that I did earlier this week, I talked about the fact that our country is going through a very severe division between the two political parties and in our systems of government. And it was clearly evident by a lot of actions that have occurred. And I pointed out what those actions were. Now, given the events that have unfolded today, I think that it bears revisiting that reflection just a little bit. As we've heard this morning, our president of the United States has announced he is no longer running for re-election. I think that this can be the first step of what would be the journey, the walk, the movement of restoring and healing our country. It was clearly evident, especially during this last couple of days with the passing of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. There were a few people on we call the extreme right, I guess, that posted some really negative things. And one of the things that I believe is that when a person passes, I believe there should be a certain level of respect during the time of mourning for the individual. And that did not happen with, or that does not appear to have happened with the Congresswoman. There are certain individuals that were speaking negatively about her and saying derogatory things so immediately after she passed. And I believe that's a lack of respect. I'm not going to get too into that because this is not the purpose of this live stream. It is only to affirm that these are products of the division that our country is going through in our system of government. Both sides of the aisle have gone to the extremes, more the Republicans than the Democrats. And it's poisoned our country. It's poisoned our citizens here in this great nation. And I believe that now more than ever, we need to begin the path of restoration and healing in our country. That's one of the reasons I've went and did this live stream right now, because I believe and I challenge and I call on members of the Republican Committee, the Republican Party. I call on the former President of the United States, Donald Trump. You say that you are a Christian man. You say that you believe in God. If you are that type of person, you know what the next step is in your campaign. I don't have to tell you. You should know that you need to take a moment to reflect and pray for direction by God, what you need to do. I also believe that if you are a man of God or you claim to believe in God, that you would believe that our nation needs to begin a process of healing and restoration. This may or may not involve certain things that need to occur. I challenge you, and I challenge members of the Republican Party to reflect and reconsider who is running for president in the Republican ticket. I believe that as a nation, if we want this healing and restoration process to begin, both sides of the aisle, both parties need to start fresh. They need to bring in fresh leadership, fresh candidacies, so that when whoever is elected in the end would bring that fresh leadership to our nation. What am I saying? I know many people are going to be upset about this statement. They're going to be unhappy. They're going to complain. It will be those whose hearts have been severely contaminated by this division and will refuse to reflect on the future of our country. I challenge President Trump and the Republican Party to take time to reflect, pray, and reconsider whether President Trump should seek re-election to the White House. The reason being is that, as I said, we need to start fresh. As a country, we need to sit back, reflect, and press the reset button, as it were, and get our country back on track for restoration and healing. And to do that, we need fresh leadership on both sides. And let the people decide between those new, fresh candidates who they want to lead the country. Just as President Biden has decided not to run for re-election, I believe President Trump, you should make the same consideration for the benefit and the well-being of our country. And if you are a man of God, as you say you are, you will take consideration, careful consideration, of what I, as an American citizen, am proposing, as I believe many Americans may feel the same way, given the recent division within our political systems of government. You've already gone through and experienced an attempt on your life. There will be those, unfortunately, that see President Biden's decision as an act of motivation to go against you, to talk against you, to argue. Do we want to give them that motivation? Do we want to provoke others because of the relevant situation that occurred this morning? Or do we want our country to be healed and restored? I call on you to think and reconsider. That is my request. Thank you. God bless America. God bless us all as American citizens. And may our country prosper and recover in in light of these events. Thank you. God bless.